All right, my name is Jerry J. Russian. When I retired from working, I was the vice president, market manager for the 4 stations owned by Cox Broadcasting here in Miami, or here in South Florida. Oh, about 40, 42 years. I started in like 1971, 72, and I retired mid 2012. So a little over 40 years, I guess. How did I get started? Well, I had always been fascinated with broadcasting. To be honest with you, being a jock, as a young kid in Fort Lauderdale, I wanted to be a jock or a doctor because the two gentlemen in my neighborhood who had really nice homes, one was a doctor and the other one was a local DJ, Dr. Shirley, and the disc jockey's name was, broadcaster's name was Luther Holland. So I saw how nice their homes were. So I said, shoot, these guys are making money, so I want to do whatever they do. So when I graduated high school, I went straight to Vietnam. So when I get out of Vietnam, obviously to be a doctor, you got to go to college for 4 years. You got to go to med school. You got to do your internship. At the time, it would take you maybe 10 years to become a doctor. To be a DJ took me like 6 months. So it was a no-brainer. So I decided to go into broadcasting. And that's how it started, pretty much. And I came to work at EDR part-time on Sunday mornings as what we call a board op, a board engineer. I would play the tapes with Minister Farrakhan, Reverend Ike, all these religious programs. Excuse me. I just play the tapes on Sunday morning. I didn't talk. And one show would end, I'd hit the start button on the other machine and play the next show. So that was my very beginning in radio, was a Sunday morning board engineer. So, and then we just, one thing led to another. Well, yeah, it was funny. With this evil guy that was a program director when I first got started, so he gave all his disc jockeys names. And he gave us the worst names in the world. His name was the Master. Well, whatever that means, that's cool. But one guy named was a Soul Chef, which like he's in the kitchen cooking. And he named me Jolly Jerry. I'm like the big fat guy. Who the heck named Jolly Jerry? But shortly after that, my name was changed to Jerry J. Then at some point it was like Super Jerry J for a lot of years. And then I made a bet on air over a basketball game with Portland Trail Blazers or somebody. Maybe it was football, I forget. And I bet my name. If I lose the bet, I would give up my name, which was Super Jerry J, and I lost the bet. So then I had a contest. They found me a new name, so we settled for Mr. J, and I was Mr. J up until I stopped broadcasting. But people still call me Super, Jerry J, Mr. J. Some people call me Dr. J. Some guy just can't get in the head. It was Mr. J, but they still go, hey, Dr. J. I said, all right, man, I'll be your Dr. J. Well, it was fun. I mean, especially urban radio. You got to understand that, for instance, just the location of your station. We were deep in the Liberty City off of 36th Street. You're right there in the community that you serve. I mean, people could literally walk up to the door and give you a public service announcement or church announcements. And if you mention you're hungry on the air, the neighbor across the street will come over and bring you a plate of food. Or if you're thirsty, they'll bring you a bottle of water, So it was just a different kind of business back then. And you had a chance to more super serve the community. You got involved with everything from politics to economics, the social elements, drug abuse and street gangs and violence. So you got more teeth into those issues at that time because you were allowed to. The regulations on broadcasting wasn't strict. The rules for our air shift for a disc jockey was not as strict. If you came in, you had an issue, I could say, come on in, let's talk about it. I could stop the music for a minute or two, and we'll talk. And hey man, good luck to you, and people would respond. They would help you out with whatever your situation was. So it was different in many ways. A lot of fun. I mean, I got to meet. I interviewed like James Brown, and I got to became friends rather. Smokey Robinson, the list of stars, Stephanie Mills. I mean, on and on. The Dramatics, all the old school groups. So you get to meet your people that you admired before you got into business. I mean, you met and you became friends with a lot of them, you know, because they traveled without the big entourages back then. They would catch a cab and not have somebody take them back to the hotel or whatever the case may be. But so it was a lot different then. You know, the industry was different, and so was, you know, broadcasting itself. James don't get enough credit, but he was although his education was limited, I think something like third grade, he's a very bright man. You know, he was one of the first guys to own his label and own his publishing. Remember, if I own the publishing to my song, even if you go and make $1 million off of it, I get a piece of your million. And if he sings it and make $1 million, I get a piece of his million. But he owned his publishing. A lot of black guys were writing great songs, but they didn't copyright it. They didn't own the publishing on it. So everybody was out singing that song, making all this money, and they got nothing from that creation. But James was one of the first guys to actually do that. And James was like, in his own way, kind of a militant, or he was just a very proud black man. When you hear songs like Santa Claus, come straight to the ghetto. I don't want nobody giving me nothing. Open up the door, I get it myself. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Like a dull knife that ain't cutting, you're talking loud and you're saying nothing. You see, so James was very much into politics way before it became popular. And, you know, and James talked to me about everything there was. I was with him on many occasions in hotel rooms. The Fontainebleau is where he liked to stay when he came here. And backstage when he did a show, I'd sit back there with him for an hour and a half, we just talking. He was talking to a lot of jocks one night, and he was saying, guys always say back then, blaming the white man. You know, you just can't blame the white man for everything, you know. So that was the conversation. Because sometimes, you know, especially during that time, and even today, we like to sit back and be the victim all the time. I know we got things that's been done to us over the years, but sometimes we were our own victims. I mean, we made ourselves a victim. I gave one example. I was talking to him that one night. James used to box, and I boxed when I was in the military. So we were talking, and I said, like, if a guy get knocked out with a right cross or a left hook, why did he get knocked out? Did he get knocked out because he got hit with a right cross, a left hook, or did he get knocked out because he failed to get out of the way? So it depends on how you see it. I look at it the last way. I should have got out of the way. I should have blocked it. I should have pulled back. It's easy to say, well, he knocked me out with a right hook. No, you got knocked out because you didn't get out of the way of the right hook. So it's all perception. Half, you know, the bottle's glass half full, half empty, same kind of stuff. But that's how he and I talk. I mean, that's just the way he was. So I learned a lot, you know, about business from him. He told me backstage, his son, he says, remember, we're in show business. This is show business we're in. Show is a two-part word, show business. See, what happened is, these black guys go out there and they do all the show, and the white man handle the business. You gotta learn both parts of that word, show business. I said, oh, okay. You know, so I took that to heart. So this is how our conversations went, and that was part of my learning experience with James. Yeah, unless you're a real big jock, say on a national scale like Tom Joyner or Steve Harvey, it's changed because now they don't come in contact as much. You know, they used to put out an album. They would come down and do a promotional tour. They'll come to a small club, and you invite people to like a listening party. You know, come in and people sit around and listen to the new album, you know, and give out copies, autographed copies. And sometimes they sang one or two songs from the album. It was very personal back then. And now, I don't know. I see artists now in the last years before I retired. They come in, I go in my office, close the door. Because they come in with a dang entourage with 85,000 people. It looked like the Crips and the Bloods coming through the door, like a bunch of street gangs. You know. I remember Bill Cosby came to one of my clubs once. He called a cab to the club, sat down in the club one Friday night and talked to people. You know, I made sure nobody rushed him, you know, but he would talk. He signed some autographs. So when he got ready to go back to his hotel, I said, hey, man, I'll get somebody to take you home. You ain't got to call a cab, you know. But that's just the way it was back then compared to now with everybody having an entourage and a bodyguard. Like somebody want to hurt them. If you do, you want to hurt them, hell, you hurt the bodyguard first, and then you hurt him. That's no biggie. Bodyguards are usually bigger targets anyhow. That's another story. Well, I think local radio can pivot to local issues a lot easier. And I know Tom fairly well, but if you're doing a national morning show, you really can't even give the time. You can say 10 past the hour. Locally, you got to figure out what hour it is. You see? You can't say 10 past 9 because in California it's 10 past 6. And in Vegas it's 10 past 8. And New Orleans is 10 past whatever. And New York is one thing, and in Miami, so just something as simple as that. But obviously, if you got an area that's having problems with drugs, in say here in Miami, I can focus some energy on that area. If you got a teenage pregnancy problem, or whatever it is, I can make it tailor-made to deal with that situation. Nationally, nobody in LA want to hear about your problem in South Florida. Nobody in South Florida hear about your problem in LA. So in South Florida, however, they do want to hear about that problem in South Florida. That's just one of the differences, and I also think it's a local advantage if you do it properly. Radio was big, man. I was jock on a regular. I was on AI every day then, and because it gave people a sense of direction. Everybody tuned in, even the white community, the police tuned in. Everybody. So, but you have a responsibility. You have to say the right thing, even if you don't feel it or really want to. You have to know what's right, and deal from that perspective. You can't take it personal and say things because you don't like something, So you got to be very careful because a lot of folks will respond. Radio is a very powerful medium. It's a theater of the mind because nobody can see anything in radio. But what you say and do creates the image in a person's mind. You have to talk about the rain. Man, I can't believe this rain, man. Look, there's a puddle of water outside my front door. The trees are about to blow over. So now a person can see the puddle of water, or they can see the trees, whatever, because you're inside their mind. So it's a very powerful medium, and you have to be very responsible for what you're saying. So we try to do the right thing during those riots. You try to get the kids out of the street. You try to stop, the violence, whatever the case may be. But still yet, I had to also understand that people were frustrated in each one of those riots. And you also have to provide a medium, a thing that you can release some of that pressure in the community. You see, it's like if you keep putting air in a balloon, at some point it's going to burst. You got to find a way to let some of that air out of it so that it don't explode in your face. And that's what radio do during time of crisis. Well, I did dual roles there for a few years. I was program director, disc jockey, and I was in charge of production. But then as the station got bigger, I started hiring people to do certain jobs. But it was just to make sure, first of all, that the music and the programming was as scheduled, that sales needs, clients was as scheduled. Just that everything in the building should work as it should. The promotion department, that they're in place doing what they should do, that the salesmen in place doing what they should do, the disc jockeys doing what they should do, and the production department producing commercials in place doing what they should do. So everything that was involved in the industry on a day-to-day basis, that's what I did, at that time. I still do some consulting here. Maybe once, twice a month I'll come in and we go if there's a particular problem or a situation they need some advice on, or they want just to hear another opinion about something. But I don't pursue it aggressively because I had a great career and I'm very satisfied with it. However, I still want to see radio continue to grow, especially urban radio. I still use the word black radio. Oh, it's urban. Oh, okay, urban is black to me. It is what it is. And I just think you understood. When you say black radio, people understand where you're coming from. Urban for years confused people. People go like, what is that? Urban means black. Why say a word that means black? Just say black. But anyhow, that's just me being old school and stubborn again. So and I get around. I do a lot of stuff on social media, commentary on Facebook, and it's just starting to do the Twitter thing here recently, but a lot of stuff on Facebook, a lot of get out the vote efforts. You know, I come in once a week during this election trying to get people to register to vote, and of course now it's all about getting people out to vote with the election coming up very soon. So I usually come in once a week with James T. and we talk about the election and the importance of it. So it's that kind of thing. So I'm on the peripheral. I'm not in the middle of it. Don't want to be, you know. But I still, if I'm needed, I like to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's like Maestro called me a couple of days ago about today. All right, just give me a time, bro. You know, I'm a good soldier, and I just do as I'm told. Golly, man. Oh man. I don't. You know, it's always good when people of importance pay you some respect. I remember back in the day, Bob Graham, who was governor of Florida, came to see me. And I'm sitting there, kid out of Fort Lauderdale, 12th grade education. I'm talking with the governor of the state. He values my opinion. This is one of those times during the riot. You go like, wow. Even Jeb Bush, when he ran for office, he came to visit me in my office. You know, it wasn't about the Republican thing, this, that, and the other, but he sat down and he and I talked, you know, back in 2000 or whenever it was when he ran for governor of the state. But I guess meeting great people and nice people, brilliant people, you know, I mean, I've just met some politicians that's just brilliant, like Carrie Meeks here locally. On a national scale, I've met so many brilliant people and talented people. And that's the biggest thing. It's hard to believe sometimes because I still, you know, as I am, I'm just a dude, man. I'm just a cat, you know, on the grind for 40-some years in this business. But I had the chance to sit elbow to elbow with just brilliant minds, man. Just wow, you know, and that's it, man. The people you meet and the friends you make, you know. So those are my highlights, just the folks, man. And a lot of folks here local. I've met a lot of staff members, man, that were just great people. So you value those relationships. But DJ Khaled, first of all, I often say he's about the most hip-hop dude I know. Khaled would talk to me, Mr. J, but listen, the blitz and the whole thing. I said, man, what are you saying? Because he had this thing about him, this accent. I don't know what he was doing. You know, he talking this hip-hop lingo. But he was very aggressive. And he started with us when we were in Opelika, maybe 1998, 99. On Friday nights, he would come in as a part of the Luke show with Luke Skywalker at the time. He would be spinning records with Luke. And then I got a chance I hired him as a mixer, DJ mixer, full time. And one thing led to another, but he was so unique. I see him now doing national commercials and stuff on a lot of national TV shows, you know. But he's just a unique talent, and he's a great guy too. He really is still. He and I talk on occasion. He's just a tremendous guy, you know. I'm so proud of him, you know, because I feel like hell, I had something to do with it. The same thing with DJ Irie, man. And DJ Irie's big, man. He's big. I see him on Good Morning America. Yeah, he worked here. He was in Opelika, and even we came in this building. I don't know. DJ Irie must have worked for us up until what, 2007, Marcus, something like that. Maybe 2007. Then this got so big because he started working with Jamie Foxx and Shaq, and then of course the Heat thing, and doing personal parties for people like Wayne Huizenga. So his schedule got big, and he had to travel a lot. But you know, great dude again. It's just another great guy, man, that I had a chance to meet and work with, and I'm proud of him just as well. Gosh, man, you know, I don't know with all this stuff that's out there, man. When you start seeing Pandora Radio and get the app for this and iTunes and the list of stuff I don't even know goes on and on. I don't know about radio as we have known it over the years, like 99.1 or 105.1 Hot 105 or 99.1 99 Jam. So I don't know what all this is going to mean at the end. If we could get stronger, these little things that we got created now on the internet and just could come back and nibble at radio as we know it over the years. So I don't know if it's going to get healthier or it may get devoured by some of the stuff that we're inventing now. I'm just not sure. But I trust it to be fine. I mean, it has so far survived television. They said it wouldn't survive when TV came along, and it survived, you know. And so radio is a survivor, you know, and black radio is a survivor. It has survived for a lot of years, and it'll continue to survive.